Have you ever realized that nobody walks around like this? But we see the majority of the people in some variation walking more like this. And the problem that I see in the physical therapy world is that when people are forwards, there's a lot of blame on tight muscles. And there's a lot of blame on somebody that just has bad posture. But there's no one that's explaining the source. Why does this happen? Why are people forwards? Why is no one back here? And so in this video, I want to hopefully educate you on why we will start to move forwards and more forwards and more forwards. And if you are someone that does have a posture that is forwards or any sort of postural dysfunction, what I hope that you can take away from this video is understanding why. What I have found after working with thousands of people is that no one likes to talk about the why. It's always the cool, fun thing, but when you understand the why, you start to understand expectations, meaning we would expect XYZ symptoms based on your posture. And there's power to that. When you can start to put these expectations into place, it kind of gives you a more peace of mind. The questions then aren't what's wrong with me, it's I know why this is happening. And when you know why things are happening, you know what you need to do to fix it. So, by the end of this video, I hope you feel more confident and empowered in understanding posture and or postural related problems, and hopefully walk away with a totally different mindset. So the first thing we quickly need to talk about is posture. I like to think of posture as a pattern, and we can break down pattern as a habit. So, imagine you had a bad habit that you wanted to get rid of, but you didn't even know you had. It would be impossible, right? And so what I like to do to help people understand their posture or pattern is first increase awareness. We need to be aware of the posture or pattern. Then we need to create a new posture or pattern. And then we need to strengthen that new posture and pattern. That is ultimately how we fix posture-related dysfunctions for good. The problem is a lot of people don't go through that awareness phase, they just go to strengthening. And then we strengthen a bad habit or strengthen a bad pattern, a bad posture, right? And then we have a stronger bad posture and or more pain. So when it comes to posture, just think of a habit, right? We need to increase awareness, we need to create a new one, then we need to strengthen a new one. And speaking of posture, what is a good posture, right? It's not this. It's not this. A good posture is one that you can move in and out of. We need to have variability in our postures. When somebody has a posture that is stuck, that's when there's ultimately going to be some problems. So that's my little tidbit on what's good posture, what's bad posture, and ultimately how to reframe it to understand the process. So now that we understand that, let's talk about why we will start to move more forwards. The human body has two goals. Number one, we need to be able to put force into the ground. So we need to be able to apply down force, or else we would go to take a step and we'd fall. We wouldn't ever get anywhere. So down force, number one. And number two, we need to maintain our center of gravity. If we couldn't maintain our center of gravity, we would fall every time we step. And we see this when individuals have a higher chance of falling. There's probably not enough down force, but then on top of that, there's a harder time maintaining the center of gravity. And so, if we can't acquire the right shapes of the foot, the tibia, the femur, the pelvis, if we can't get the right shape at the right time, what the body will do is just start to move more forwards. This forwards position applies down force. Check the box, we got down force. The problem is, if we become too far forwards, we would then fall forwards. And so the body will start to do twists and turns so that we don't fall. So if I am here, it's really easy to bring the ribs down to cram me back. And this is where you see this typical rounded shoulder presentation. This person is actually not back. They're so far forward that they had to create some sort of strategy to push themselves back. And so with that in mind, if somebody is so far forwards that they've pulled back, does it make sense that we just need to stretch their chest muscles because their chest muscles are tight? No. We just then probably pinch our shoulder because we're in a poor position, but we force the stretch. What we need to do is learn how to actually bring the center of mass back. When we can bring the center of mass back and relearn how to maintain that, that's fixing the source. Stretching a chest muscle in this position is a symptom. And when you start to understand everything I just talked about, it makes no sense. We would expect, based off being so far forward that we had to come back, that this chest would be tight. So I don't know why we're so surprised when somebody has that presentation when we actually should expect it. So that's why we start to move more forwards over time. We're doing it to create downforce and maintain our center of mass. Now, to fix it, it's not a simple task. It's not as easy as just saying, hey, we need to go from our toes and bring our center of mass back and we're good. There needs to be muscles that are unlocked because everything is compressed, holding you in a pattern. And once those things are unlocked, then we need to retrain the ability to move. We need to then strengthen. And so there is a sequence of events. This video is not to teach you how to get out of your posture simply because I don't know the posture you're in. If I gave you generic information, it's a waste of your time because I don't know the certain pattern that you're in. And so if I just said, do this, do this, do this, maybe 30% of you would have a good result. But the 70% of you would be wasting your time and maybe it'd be causing more dysfunction because ultimately I don't know the position that you're starting in. I need to know the position you're starting in so we know where to go. And so again, the point for this video is to just give you knowledge on posture and postural dysfunction and why they happen. If you are battling this postural dysfunction and you have pain and you've tried a lot of things and it hasn't worked, then I would encourage you to click the link below, schedule a free discovery call so we can talk a little bit more and understand your starting point. And once I know the starting point, we can then work together to create a path. And that path is very clear when you understand why and you understand the starting point. And I think in this postural dysfunction world, that's the biggest problem. Practitioners, coaches, clinicians, a lot of times the why isn't understood because things are just chalked up to being tight, and the path isn't understood because a lot of people are just given the same exercises. So again, if you want a different pattern, a different way of life, go ahead, click that link below, schedule a free discovery call, and we can figure out the best path for you.